how to build complete blog, front-end plus back-end, like WordPress CMS with Laravel 5, the most popular PHP framework today, and Admin LTE, the open-source admin dashboard built on top Bootstrap 3. To give you better sense of what you'll learn if you stick with me through this course, here's the rough breakdown. We have 4 lessons. In the first lesson, you'll learn how to set up local development environment, install Composer and Laravel installer. In the second lesson, you'll learn how to set up front-end layout, display all published posts with pagination, show the blog post with SEO-friendly URL, show the author's bio and author's post as well, display posts based on selected author, display the categories with the number of posts in every category, filter the posts based on selected category. You'll also learn how to display popular posts and custom 404 error page. Then, in lesson 3, you'll learn how to set up admin LTE as backend layout. You'll learn how to manage the posts, such as add a new post, upload and resize the post image, move the post to the trash, restore a post from the trash, or delete the post permanently. Filtering the post, such as display current users' posts, display entire posts, display the posts on the trash, display the trap posts, publish posts, and schedule posts. You'll also learn how to manage categories, create a category, validate category, update the category, and delete the category. Here, when deleting a category, the related post will be moved to the default category. Then, you'll learn how to manage users so that it makes our application multi-user support. Here we can add a new user, update the existing user, and delete selected user. When deleting a user, there will be 2 options to be chosen. Delete all content, which means delete the user with all posts that owned by the user, and attribute all content to the selected user. That means delete the user, but the posts owned by the user will be attributed to other selected user. In the fourth lesson, you'll learn about access control list, or ACL, to restrict the authenticated users to perform various actions based on the roles or permissions they have. This will make our application more secure and prevent particular pages from being accessed by unauthorized users. In this course, we'll focus on how to build application with Laravel from scratch. All templates in this project can be found in this course. So, which Laravel version we'll be using to build this blog application, considering Laravel 5.3 has been released? Well, when I was recording this course, I was still using Laravel version 5.2. I did not use version 5.3 because at the time it was still in development. It was in alpha version. But don't worry, you can use either version 5.2 or 5.3 to follow this course, because I think not much differences from both Laravel versions. On the next slide, I'll show you a few notes about some changes in the latest version of Laravel that you can use as a reference if you'll be using Laravel 5.3. But if you'll be using Laravel version 5.2, just skip this video. Okay, I'll explain some changes in Laravel version 5.3. Here I only explain some issues related to this course so that you can understand the differences and can follow this course. But if you want to know more detail about the changes, please check out the Laravel documentation or other resources on the internet. I'll start to explain from the route. In Laravel version 5.2, we can define all routes in a single file, routes PHP, that located in app HTTP directory. So the routes for the web, API, or console are all placed here. But in Laravel 5.3, routes definition split it into 3 files stored in a special directory just below the Laravel root directory called route. In this directory, there are 3 files called api.php. Here we can define some routes for API purpose. Then console.php. Here we can define some routes that can be accessed in console or command line application. And the web.php file is used to define some routes for web applications. So from this explanation, if you see I make a route in the routes.php file, then you can make it in routes web.php. The second change is directory structure. In Laravel version 5.2, below app directory, there are several subdirectories such as console, events, exceptions, HTTP, jobs, listeners, policies, providers, and one model user.php file. But in version 5.3, there are only console, exceptions, HTTP, providers, and a model user.php. Other directories accidentally removed because they are often not used. So if you need that, you should make it manually, or it will be created automatically when you create a file using artisan generator. For example, when you create a job using PHP artisan make job command, then jobs directory will be created. In addition, in Laravel 5.3, there are also 2 additional directories which not show up by default, but might show up if you use artisan command: mail directory to store mailable classes, and notifications directory to store notification classes. The third change is authentications controller. In Laravel 5.2, there are only 2 files below auth directory. The first is auth controller, which is used for login, logout, and registration, while password controller to handle if you forget the password and reset the password. But in Laravel 5.3, both are broken down again, so you'll find 4 files here. Login controller used for login or logout purpose, register controller used for registration, forgot password controller will be used if you forgot password, and reset password controller used for resetting password. And also note here, in Laravel 5.2, the logout route using HTTP method get or head, so we can use it with standard link. But in Laravel version 5.3, it's using post HTTP verb. So when you create logout link, you have to make it in form tag, something like this. Then, if you want to make custom name of REST resource route in Laravel 5.2, you simply define it like this, and it would be generate some routes like this. In Laravel version 5.3, you must add additional options in the third parameter like so. And lastly, if you want to make route model binding in Laravel 5.2, you can define it in route service provider like this, but in Laravel 5.3, you can follow something like this. And that's all I can explain about the changes in Laravel 5.3. As I mentioned before, here I'm just pointing out Laravel 5.3 changes which is related to this course. For more details, please check out Laravel documentation or other resources on the internet. In order to running and developing Laravel project in our local machine, we need to install development environment in our local machine. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to install the Laravel development environment in the Windows machine. There are many options to install development environment in one package installer. For Windows machine, WAM and SAM is popular options. If you want to install WAM, please go to wamserver.com official website and download the package there. Or if you want to install SAM, just go to apacheparents.org and choose the package to download. One cool thing about SAM, it's also provided for various operating system such as Linux and Mac. But now MySQL is replaced with MariaDB, which is community developed of the MySQL. For this lesson, I'm going to install WAM server. I'm using 64-bit. So here I choose this package. Here we got the message. Just ignore it and click download directly link. I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back after download finished. Here I finished download the package. Just double click to install the package and follow the instruction. Choose the language and click OK. Click the next button. Click I accept the agreement checkbox and click next. And here we have to read the instruction carefully. This software needs Visual C++ redistributable package version 9 to 14. And here we provided several links to download the packages. So before install the package, please check the package in your local machine. Just install the packages that has not installed in your local machine. Here in my local machine, all the packages has installed except the last one. So here I click the link, download, and wait for a while. Okay, the package has installed successfully, so we can continue install the WAM server. Click next. Choose the destination where the WAM server would be installed and hit next button. Here I get message to choose the default browser. By default, it is Internet Explorer as default browser. If you want to change the other browser, just click the Yes button and choose the location of where the browser is installed. Here I got another message to choose the default editor. By default, it's Notepad. If you want to change, just click Yes button and choose the location of the editor installed. Here, for example, I choose Sublime Text. It's almost done. Click next button and finish. Okay, we have installed our development environment successfully. Now let's go to our browser and enter localhost. And here is the default WAM server homepage. And if you installed SAM, just do the same way and you would get default SAM server homepage show up. The difference between SAM and WAM is default document root location where we put our web apps. In WAM, we can put our web app in WAM www. But if we install SAM, we have to put our web apps in SAM htdocs. So now we have development environment installed. The next thing we have to do is install Composer, and I'll show you in the next lesson. In the previous lesson, we have installed development environment in our local machine. But Laravel not standalone software like CodeIgniter, for example. It needs other dependency package or libraries. That's why we need to install dependency management software called Composer. To install Composer, just go to official website getcomposer.org and click download. This download page provides several ways to install Composer based on operating system we have. For Windows user, just click the composer-setup.exe link to download the package. When finished, click the package, and here we have to choose the location where PHP is installed. In WAM server, we can go to WAM folder, bin PHP, and here we have two versions of PHP. I choose the PHP version 5 and click the php.exe. Click Open button and click Next button to prepare the installation. I skip the proxy setting and click Install button to install the composer. Here we get additional information. I click the Next button and that's it. Composer installation is finished. Let's check the composer installation. Let's open the command windows, type composer and hit enter. Here we get the information about composer version and some helps. This tells us the composer installed successfully and we are ready to go. Now let's install the Laravel installer. This installer is shortcut, so we don't need to create new Laravel project by using composer create-project command. Let's go to Laravel installation guide, and here before install Laravel installer, let's take a look at the server requirement here. We need PHP greater than or equal 5.5.9, open SSL extension, PDO, PHP extension, embed string, and tokenizer PHP extension. Let's see in our server setting. Open SSL extension, PDO extensions, embed string extension, tokenizer extensions. Okay, the requirements are met in our server. Now let's scroll down to Laravel installer guide, copy the command, and paste to command window. Composer global require mean we install the package globally, not in current directory. In Windows, global package located in current user folder, app data, roaming, composer. Laravel /installer is the name of the package that composer would download from repository. Now we have to wait the download process for a minute or more. Okay, the Laravel installation is done. Now let's check it by showing the Laravel installer version. This tells us that Laravel installer is working perfectly. If you find issue, it could be the path is not set up correctly. To do that, just check your current path and check whether the composer global package path exists or not. If it's not exist, just set the path of your composer global package to current path. With the Laravel installer installed successfully, you can try to create new Laravel project. For example, I create new project called Hello. Now we have to wait download process in a minute or more. Now change directory to the new Laravel project and run php origin serve to run php built-in server. Go to browser and enter localhost:8000. There we go. The default Laravel homepage is show up. You can also put the Laravel project in WAM server or some document root directory. Here I put in www directory. Now in browser we can access our Laravel project with localhost, Laravel project folder name, /public. And there we go. We get some default Laravel homepage.
फायदा हासिल होगा। वीडियो देखने के लिए शुक्रिया।